Here's the thing, you want to improve, but you also want to stay comfortable. You want to eat your cake and have it too. But here's the truth, that comfort is the very thing that is slowing you down. Most people live their entire lives in autopilot. They live their lives asleep. They go throughout their day doing everything based upon what their subconscious mind believes to be true because we are conditioned by society. Think of it like this. When we were growing up, a lot of us had the privilege in believing in Santa and the Tooth Fairy until someone came along one day and told us that it's not real. We believed that with our whole heart because that is what we were told. How many beliefs, thoughts, feelings, emotional patterns are placed upon us by society, by the environments that we grow up in, and we never challenge them. It feels safe, it feels familiar. It's because everyone else is doing the thing, and by everyone else doing it, through evolution, our brains are wired for survival, not for success. We feel better when we belong in a group by evolution. So we fit in with the group. We do everything to fit in to the society that we grew up in. We go get the job, we get the degree, we go to college. All of those things are an absolute privilege, by the way, especially growing up in Ireland. I'm speaking from personal experience, but why don't we ever challenge that? What if that is not our calling? What if that is not our true path? What if we wanted to do something else with our lives? What if we had goals and dreams that were separate to that? The reason why a lot of people stay where they don't belong in those societies and they conform is because it's ordinary. And ordinary and familiar is manageable. Our brain loves familiarity. It seeks it out. It makes it feel safer. But that is what is costing you. Because if you're watching this right now, I do not think you're ordinary. You're here because you have a deep knowing within inside of you that you are made for more. The question is, are you willing to wake up? You see, everything in life comes at a cost. Your new life is going to cost you your old one. And for a lot of people, it is too uncomfortable for them to lean into what it is that they know is their desire because they are going to lose their friends around them, people around them, loved ones. People are going to misunderstand you. But the cost of authenticity and living a life that is truly yours means that you need to walk a different path. It means that you need to be misunderstood. Think about it. If you are doing something different to the 99% of people that you grew up around, if you are going after goals and dreams that are not the same as those people, how can you expect to be understood by them? It's like me expecting someone who relies on a 9-to-5 job, who relies on that security, a pension, paying into a mortgage. There's nothing wrong with that if that's their true authentic life. But for me, I could not bear that because I was so misaligned in it. I knew that I had a different calling, which is what I am doing right now. That requires you to be a black sheep surrounded by loads of white ones. It requires you to step into your light. It requires you to take a different path and to not conform. And that is death. That is an ego death. What happens is through evolution, all we've ever wanted to do was fit in. And when we grow up in an environment and around people who are all white sheep and they're all on this path towards what they believe is success and what they believe is their true calling, that is absolutely fine. If that's what they feel is their calling, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just when you're the black sheep surrounded by all of that, you will always feel misaligned. You will always feel misunderstood. You will always feel in lower levels of consciousness. You will always feel resentment, anger, frustration, depression, anxiety. You will feel all these ways because you are misaligned, because you're not standing in your light, because you're not leaning into that whisper in your gut. And oftentimes people don't think about the cost of not going after their goals and dreams. They would rather stay in somewhere that feels familiar and feels comfortable without realizing that that is the cost. That is actually slowly killing you, because leaning into discomfort and leaning into the path of the most resistance is the path of true authenticity, is where all the magic lies. Both are uncomfortable. It's just choosing which one is worth it, choosing which one you would rather pay the cost of. I talked about lower levels of consciousness of anxiety, fear, judgment, resentment, gossip, despair. When you are surrounded by people in a consciousness is our thoughts, beliefs, feelings, emotional patterns, emotional convictions. When you are in a collective consciousness, which is a group of people who have these feelings, who judge other people, who talk about other people, who have anxiety, who have depression, who speak poorly of people, who are always complaining, when you're surrounded in somewhere like that, you will have the energy and all your life force energy drained out of you. It will be sucked out of you. And when you're surrounded by people who question you, who say that you can't go after your goals and dreams, who are judgy, who don't believe in going after goals and dreams, who think things are unrealistic, who think doing things outside of the box or wanting big, massive goals and dreams for yourself because you feel that within. If you speak that to people who are in lower levels of consciousness and who cannot understand what it is that you are going after, they will suck every inch of energy out of you, and you will then conform. You will go into despair and you will think, I can't do this. You'll go into victim mode. You'll look at everyone else who's doing the thing that you know you're capable of doing, but you won't push forward because you're surrounded by a collective thinks otherwise, who does not think like you. You are a black sheep surrounded by loads of white sheep. And the thing about this is emotion and feeling is the highest leverage thing in getting you to your desired reality, because emotion is energy in motion. Think about this. If you have so much energy channeled towards one thing, whether that is anxiety, whether that's fear, whether that is belief, whether that is winning, the feeling of winning and success and that you are going to win at all costs, whatever it is, when you have energy and motion and that compounds, that is the driving force. So if you're someone who constantly is around people who are complaining, who are judging, who feel like they need to be realistic in this life, who are riddled in fear, who think that going after your goals and dreams is something that's reserved for other people, if you're surrounded by people who think in that way, that's the energy that's seeping into you, and that's the energy that's in motion, and that's going to compound, and it's just going to go around and around like this. And it's so hard to get off that hamster wheel if you don't make a decision to. You must decide that you're breaking that pattern and that you're not going to victimize anymore and you're getting off the fucking hamster wheel. You have to take responsibility for your life if you want different for your life. The coolest part about this is you can also decide to have different energy. You can also decide to have different emotions. You can feel how you feel. I'm not saying to ever suppress any emotions that you feel, but you can choose different. You can choose to think of all the things that are going to go right instead of all the things that are going to go wrong, and then gain momentum off the back of that and have so much emotional conviction towards that thing. That's what will compound. But as long as you're surrounded by people in lower levels of consciousness and lower vibrational emotions, that is seeping in through you. Your energy is precious. Make sure you are protecting it in the people you talk to, in the conversations you're having, in the friends you're around. We are creatures of habit. There's a story about men in evolution where they were all in a cave and one of them stepped out into the sun, and none of them had ever done that before, and they were all too scared. And the man who stepped out into the light and into the sun got to experience the light and the warmth and the joy that the sun brought. And he told all the other men that were in the cave, come out, this is amazing, it's absolutely incredible, it's magical, I cannot believe it, you need to come out. And the men that were looking out upon him from the cave were too afraid to go out because it was uncertain, it was unfamiliar, it was new territory, and they genuinely thought they were going to die. You are the person who's going to stand out in the light. You cannot expect the people who don't understand you, you can't expect them to understand you. You can't expect them to stand out in the light. And that is the cost of authenticity and going after your goals and dreams. It requires you to step out into your light. It requires you to step into discomfort. It requires courage. It requires you to walk on your path, even if that is alone for a while. That is the cost of success. You don't put yourself first because you are afraid of how you're going to be perceived. Selfish, arrogant, full of yourself. Who does he think he is? Who does she think she is? She's posting content now. Who does she think she is? She's being an actress. Who does she think she is? She's going around internationally speaking on stages. Who does she think she is? Who does he think he is having a new online offer? Who does he think he is wanting to be a multimillionaire? Your fear of being perceived by other people is the thing that is stopping you from pushing forward. But here's the thing. When you are putting yourself out there, or when you are standing in your truth and going after your true path, you cannot expect people to understand you, number one. But number two, you cannot choose how you are perceived. There's half truths in everything. People are perceiving you from their worlds. This is what you need to understand. When you step forward into your light, you are going to be misunderstood. You are going to be hated. You're not going to be liked. You're going to be told that you're arrogant, you're selfish, you're full of yourself. They are perceiving you from their world and their lower levels of consciousness. And so when you're stepping out into your light, you cannot control how you're being perceived. All you can control is who you know you are within. And once you know who you are and what it is that you bring to this world and the impact that you want to make and the impact that you want to have, you do not need to explain yourself to anyone, especially to those who do not understand you. You can let them hate all they want, judge all they want, speak all they want on what they think of you. Opinions are the cheapest commodity on this earth. And when you are standing in the 1% of people and you are going after your goals and dreams, you cannot expect 99% of people who are not operating the way you're operating to understand you. And so what they believe to be true is their beliefs, and it's true in their world. And you just have to let them, because you know who you are. That's where you find your peace. You find your peace within. You block out all of the noise, all of the hate, all of the judgment, all of the what are they saying, what are they saying. It does not matter. It does not matter. All that matters is that you are serving from who you know you are. The moment you start changing, your old self, your old patterns, your old beliefs are going to scream at you. They are going to do everything to pull you back. Old friends will start texting you to meet up. Loads of people will start reaching out to you, trying to take from you. There will be so much of your whole life doing absolutely everything to keep you on the ground, to keep you from flying. It will do absolutely everything to pull you back because no one wants to die. Your ego does not want to die. The old self does not want to die. So what it does is it gets louder and louder and louder. The fear gets louder. The negative self-talk gets louder. The judgment, the fear, the paranoia, worrying what other people think. All of this gets really, 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 really loud. And your ability to sit in that discomfort is going to be the deciding factor whether you are capable of holding the person that it is that you want to become and holding the identity of the person that it is that you want to become. That is the cost of success. That is the cost of you living in your dream life. Can you sit in that discomfort and not go back and not default back to the old identity? And can you let it die? No matter how difficult it is, can you let go of the opinions? Can you let go of the old friends? Can you let go of the people who aren't serving you anymore? Can you let it all go? Can you surrender? As long as you hold on to all of that and cling onto it, you will create so much suffering in your life because you will be staying in places that you do not belong, and you will know that inside. Everyone else around you will be so happy because you stayed where you are. You stayed in the version that they like of you, but you know deep down that you don't belong there. Can you let the old version die? Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is the best growth signal ever. When fear gets super, super loud, that is when you know you are winning. Can you lean into it? That is why we have the Do It Scared challenge on the Orange Juice Theory, because the Do It Scared challenge is a behavioral strategy to getting everything that it is that you want. I'm the host of the Orange Juice Theory podcast on Spotify and YouTube. We have a challenge called the Do It Scared challenge. All you need to do is do something scared, post it on social media, tag and invite us as a collaborator with Orange Juice Theory podcast, and hashtag do it scared. It's a behavioral strategy in unlocking your next level, because every single time you lean into that fear when it comes up, that is the gateway. When you lean in and you don't run away from it, that is the gateway to your success. That is the gateway to your new identity. A lot of people say that they want their dream reality, they want this desired reality. Without the work that goes into it, without the obsession that goes into it, without going into the depths of your being and letting go of all of the old parts of you that conditioned you. You have to let it all go. You have to let go of all the old shitty limiting beliefs that you have, all these shitty emotional patterns, all these friends that are placing limitations on you, loved ones who are placing limitations on you. You have to let all of that go. You have to have an unapologetic attitude in letting it all go. And you are going to be perceived as arrogant, as full of shit, as selfish on your way up to success. And then what will happen is mastery is obsession. Mastery is having the discipline to be so obsessed and to go all in on what it is that you love. And that requires you sitting in discomfort. It requires discipline. It requires work that people do not see on the way up. It requires you immersing in yourself and being that person every single day. It's not something you do. Mastery is not something you do. It's something that you are. You must immerse yourself in it and become that person. Hold the beliefs, the thoughts, the emotional patterns, the emotional conviction, the actions, the behaviors, the habits of the person that it is that you want to be. That means you need to signal out all of the noise. You need to get rid of all of the distractions. And that is what it takes to be a master of your craft. That is what it takes. It takes obsession. And so for the normal person watching you, they are going to think you're deluded. They're going to think you're crazy. They're going to think that there's something wrong with you. And they will say that to you time and time and time again. You are too much. You are obsessive. You need to take a break. You need to take a rest. You need to calm down. You need to stop working all the time. What they don't understand is that this is an internal journey. This is not work to the master. This is obsession. This is who they are. But you cannot expect other people to understand that. So often people want the identity of the person who's already at the top without going into the psychological depths of their being, without doing the work, without being so intentional with their time, without blocking out the noise of Instagram, of likes, of validation, of trends, of what this person's doing, of what that person's doing. You need to understand, especially in 2026, how to block out the noise. Opinions are the cheapest commodity on this earth. Anything that was built that was great came from that person's brain, not other people's opinions. They focused and obsessed over one thing and they went all in on that thing, and they did not question themselves. They did not ask anyone else. They trusted themselves, they backed themselves, and they went all in on it. And then over time, failure, 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 they got there because they backed themselves and they signaled out the noise. That is what it costs. If you are watching this, you have all of this power inside of you. You have been gifted this inner life force energy. This is not something that is reserved for other people. It's not reserved for the people that you see at the top. It is in you for the taking. You need to stop victimizing around your circumstances and around your life. You need to take radical responsibility for your life. The life that you see in front of you today and the life that you're living and the path that you're on and the career that you're on is nothing more than yourself pushed out, because you decided that for yourself. You need to challenge and let go of all of the conditioning, of all of the beliefs, of all of the emotional patterns, of all of the people around you that are not serving you if you want to walk on your true path. That is what it costs. And if you're willing to decide different for your life, that is what you'll have. All it is a decision. You have all of that in you. You have the power right now to go after every single goal and dream it is that you've ever wanted. All you need to do is decide who it is that you want to be. Act, walk, talk, speak as that person. Write out the beliefs, the emotional patterns, the emotional conviction, the actions, the habits, everything that that person has, and take on that literally from today. Take that on. Ignore everyone else around you. Ignore your reality around you. Take that on every single day. If you can see it in your mind and you can feel it in your soul, you will hold it in your hand. That is law. But the universe does not respond to half in, half out. It doesn't respond to half-assed things. It responds to obsession and clarity. That is what it responds to. You will default back to the old identity quite a lot. It will get really, really, really loud when you decide who it is that you want to be, and when you decide you want different for your life and you want to go after your goals and dreams. It will get really, 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 really loud because it doesn't want to die. Your ability to sit in that discomfort and push forward anyway, observe it and not feed it, your ability to do that will define whether you step into your desired reality or not. Meditate daily. People always ask me how to meditate. Sitting in silence. Close your eyes, sit in silence, and wait until your monkey mind switches off. That is meditation. Practice gratitude every single day. Gratitude is the highest leverage thing you can do, but you need to really, really feel it and not just do it as a tick of the box thing. Gratitude is one of the highest emotions and frequencies that we can feel. It's like the opposite of like despair, lack, fear. When you're in gratitude, you will feel magnetic. And remember, emotion is energy and motion. So if you have gratitude, that's what you're calling in. I will leave you with this. Are you willing to let go of all of the old version of yourself? Are you willing to let all of that die? Let go of the environment, the friends, the people who are no longer serving you, the beliefs, the thoughts, the feelings that are no longer serving you. Are you willing to let go of all of those shadows in order to stand in your light? Are you willing to face yourself? Are you willing to sit in the discomfort? Are you willing to do the work that it takes? Are you willing to sit in the obsession? Are you willing to block out the noise? Are you willing to block out the distractions? You were never built to live in the shadows. You were built to stand in your light. Do not let environments, friends, conditioning, shitty limiting beliefs stop you from who you are and from the power that you hold within. You hold all of the answers within you. You are more than capable of going to the moon. There is nothing that you cannot do. Decide different for your life today, and you will hold every dream that you've ever wanted in your